In the heart of a wild canyon among the mountains of Colombia, there is a sacred image that defies every law of chemistry and geology, and, according to scientific analyses, it was not painted by a human hand. Today, we will explore a mystery that has left geologists, art experts, and skeptics all over the world speechless: Las Lajas Sanctuary. Imagine a Gothic cathedral suspended on a bridge 100 meters above a raging river. But the real wonder is not the architecture, it's what stands at the altar. An image of the Virgin Mary impressed directly into living rock. Many have tried to classify it as a simple 18th century painting. But when researchers took rock samples to analyze the pigments, they made a discovery that chilled many to the bone. There is no paint on the surface. The colors are not laid on top of the stone. The colors are the stone, penetrating meters into the depths of the mountain. How is it possible that such a detailed and perfect image exists without anyone ever painting it? Dear brothers and sisters, I'm sure what we are about to discover in the next few minutes will shake you, because this sign is truly extraordinary. To understand the mystery, we must first understand the place. We are in the canyon of the Guaitara River in the far south of Colombia, near the border with Ecuador. It is a region of vertical walls, dense vegetation, and slate-like rocks called Lajas, from which the sanctuary takes its name. Until the mid-17th century, this was a feared place, considered wild and dangerous. But in 1754, everything changed forever. María Mueses, an indigenous woman from the area, was walking along the canyon path carrying her little daughter Rosa on her back. Rosa had been deaf and unable to speak since birth. Caught in a violent storm, they sought refuge in a cave formed by the stone walls. And right there, while Maria was trying to hide from the rain, Rosa, who had never spoken a word in her entire life, suddenly cried out, "Mom, the lady is calling me!" Maria, terrified, saw no one. But Rosa kept pointing insistently to a spot on the cave wall, suddenly lit up by a flash of lightning. It was the beginning of a chain of events that would bring to light the most mysterious image in South America. Days passed, and little Rosa kept returning to that cave, saying she was playing with a beautiful lady and a child. No one believed her, until one day Rosa suddenly died from an illness. Maria, crushed by grief, carried her daughter's body to the cave where the child claimed to see the lady. She prayed with the kind of faith only a mother can have. And here the incredible happened, recorded in the chronicles of the time. Rosa rose up, brought back to life. The news spread like wildfire. The people of the village of Ipiales rushed to the cave. And as they cleaned the walls, scraping away dirt and moss that had built up for centuries, they froze. On the stone, there was no longer just a bare wall, but a radiant image of the Virgin of the Rosary, with Saint Dominic and Saint Francis at her sides. But this is where the true scientific mystery begins. Because that image was not like all the others. At first, people thought an anonymous painter had taken advantage of the cave, but doubts immediately arose. The image was perfect. The colors were vivid despite the extreme humidity of the canyon and constant exposure to the elements. There were no signs of brushstrokes, no charcoal traces from a preparatory sketch. It was as if the image had always been there, waiting to be revealed. In the 20th century, when technology allowed deeper analysis, the Church and Colombian authorities invited experts and geologists to study the phenomenon. What they found is what defines Las Lajas as a physical miracle. Researchers drilled into the rock to understand what kind of paint had been used. They expected to find a thin, millimeter layer of pigment on the surface, like frescoes or rock paintings. Instead, they were shocked. There was no surface pigment at all. Mineralogical analyses revealed that the colors, the deep blue of the mantle, the red of the tunic, the tones of the skin, had not been applied on top of the rock. The minerals of the stone itself were colored. The slate-like stone, the Laja, was impregnated with color to a depth of more than a meter. It is as if you took a stone, split it in half, and found inside it the figure of a person perfectly outlined in the smallest details. Science knows no natural process and no artificial process available in the 1700s capable of making color penetrate solid rock in such a selective, detailed way without destroying the structure of the stone itself. If it had been paint after 250 years of humidity and candle smoke, it should have faded or flaked away. And yet, the colors of Las Lajas today appear more brilliant than they were 2 centuries ago. Many scientists have compared this phenomenon to the tilma of Guadalupe in Mexico. As we know, on the agave fiber of Guadalupe, there are no traces of paint or brush strokes. But Las Lajas presents an even more extreme challenge to physics. The surface is hard, porous stone, exposed to water infiltration. X-ray analyses confirmed that there is no separation between the support, the rock, and the image. This categorically rules out the possibility that someone secretly painted it. But there is more. The colors contain no organic or synthetic materials identifiable as 18th century paints. They are mineral compounds that seem to have been born with the mountain itself. Think about it. To create a work like this, an artist would have had to inject colored minerals into the mountain, calculating with millimetric precision how they would spread to form a perfect face visible from the outside. That is a technology we do not even possess today, despite our most advanced lasers. This mystery led to the construction of one of the most incredible sanctuaries on Earth. Instead of removing the rock, the faithful decided to build the church around it. That meant building a monumental bridge over the Guaitara abyss. The current sanctuary, completed in 1949 after 33 years of work, is an architectural feat. It is the only church in the world built on top of a bridge connecting both sides of a canyon. Why do it in a place so difficult and expensive? Because the rock with the non-human image could not be moved. The back wall of the church is the mountain itself. The altar rests directly against the miracle. Historical sources, such as the diaries of Fray Juan de Santa Gertrudis, who visited the site between 1756 and 1762, confirmed that the image was already venerated and considered miraculous just a few years after its discovery. Juan described his wonder at seeing how the image seemed alive, and how the natural light of the canyon made it shine in inexplicable ways. But it is not only the science of the rock that shakes consciences. Las Lajas is surrounded by thousands of ex-votos, small marble plaques left by the faithful for graces received. There are documented medical testimonies of healings from paralysis, blindness, and terminal illnesses that occurred right before that image impressed into rock. And the question many ask is this: why did the Virgin choose that remote canyon? The answer may lie in the silent prophecy of this place. In a world that is becoming more and more materialistic, Las Lajas offers us a physical, tangible proof. Something we can almost touch with our own hands, a reality that transcends the laws of nature. If science says that image cannot exist, and yet the image has been there for 3 centuries, then we must admit that a higher law exists. If this video has opened your eyes to a wonder you didn't know, I invite you to share it. It is essential that these signs of God's presence in the world reach as many people as possible, especially those whose faith is wavering. Before we close, I want to leave you with a reflection. Mary chose a dark, damp cave to reveal her glory, turning a rough stone wall into a portal to the infinite. Perhaps that is a message for each one of us. God can imprint His light even into the hardest rock of your heart. I ask you to do a small but powerful act of faith. Write this phrase in the comments to testify to your trust in this miracle. Mary, light my path. We will read every comment and pray for your intentions. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. May God bless all of us.